Americans are in some serious trouble as debt rises to a record high. We not surprised, are we? Are we really surprised? Are y'all surprised? Are we really surprised? I just don't think people understand debt all the way. We just know how to gain it, and we don't know how to lose it. We know how to use debt to get the things we want, but we don't know how to lose debt. And that means we not in balance. We not in balance. If all you do is use that debt, you not in balance. And then we be using the wrong type of debt. Y'all seen the video a little while ago when I was saying how to get $500. People use debt to get out of the emergencies, and then they can't pay it back. It go downhill. It go downhill. But yeah, we gonna go over the record high debt and where it's at. So let's go ahead and get right on into that.
Released their news report. The Federal Reserve of New York just released their news report, and we have a big problem for two reasons. Number one, for the first 3 months of 2024, total household debt in America has surged to a new record high. And number two, delinquencies are shooting up. So you need to see this. So all this information is coming straight from the Federal Reserve. This is the Fed's report, their presentation on page 12. You are looking at the types of debts, so credit cards, auto loans, mortgages, student loans, and HELOCs. So this is for the past 21 years. So you can compare the situation right now against the Great Recession. Now, I want to explain this so you clearly understand our current situation. This will give you a sense of how other Americans are doing, your family, your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers, etc., just in case they're not telling you the truth. So look at the blue line, credit card delinquencies. Delinquencies have now surged to recent highs, and they're now above pre-pandemic levels. For auto loans, that's the line in green, check it out. So we're at the high end of normal. I would not be surprised to see this go above pre-pandemic levels this year. Now, if you look at the red line, those are student loan delinquencies. Obviously, what is going on here, right? It's clearly distorted. That's because the politicians passed a rule where if you miss a student loan payment, those late payments are not going to show up on your credit reports to the credit bureaus until Q4 of this year. Therefore, student loan delinquencies will appear artificially low for the next 2 quarters. In reality, the Federal Reserve is saying that student loan delinquencies are increasing right now, so that should not be a shocker.
Yeah.
Now take a look at the yellowish or goldish line. Those are mortgage delinquencies. They're extremely low levels right now, so it's nowhere close to where it was at during the housing market crash during the Great Recession. I would say that this is because about 60% of all mortgages out there have an interest rate below 4%. And anyone that has a mortgage interest rate at 4% or below probably bought their home before prices skyrocketed to obscene levels. So if you look at these people, even if they're living paycheck to paycheck right now, they can still afford to get the mortgage paid. So it's not like the housing market crash when they were just giving out ninja loans and adjustable rate mortgages like candy. Now let me show you this. And
all right, let's go back, y'all. Y'all know we gotta review that. I'm only gonna hit 2 of them. I do have 3 of them. Auto loan. That's pretty normal. That's about normal. So that's not killing people. That's $700. That's $700 a month on your auto loan. I guess it's not killing people. People still they trying not to get repossessed. It's about normal. It's about normal. As y'all see from this chart, it's been normal pretty much through and through. That means the same amount of people been getting that means it's been pretty even. That means, ain't nothing changed on that. So people still getting repoed and all that stuff. It's the same on that. Repo. Now let's go ahead and hit student loans. Y'all seen where it was at. What this was? That was the C word. That's when the pandemic had happened. And then it shot down. Which means y'all know it's false as all get out right now. It's false as all get out. If it was here, this is because people stopped paying and they stopped reporting. Let's be real. This is because people stopped paying and they stopped reporting. You know, they stopped all that because of the pandemic. So it was automatic. And automatic, it's gonna shoot down. So that's probably the most false thing. Now let's get to the most alarming: credit cards. This credit card debt is not where it's at. That's probably the most expensive debt you can have. Let's be real. These rates, 20, 40, y'all know these rates is through the roof. These rates are through the roof. Americans, come on. Gotta get it. We back over pre-pandemic levels. It's going up. I honestly fear that it's going to continue to go up because that's just, first, inflation's going up. So the cost of living is going up. People can't afford it, so where are they subsidizing it? With your credit card. That's the first place we're probably going to see something. People are subsidizing with their credit cards. They're still trying to afford the same lifestyle they had before, but everything's just getting more expensive. You know, right after, it was a lot of money. So people were spending, living a lifestyle they probably weren't just all the way accustomed to. And now they're trying to keep up with that lifestyle. So you got to spend a little bit more, dish a little bit more out that you don't have. So you're going to use a credit card. Stay away from these credit cards, man. Don't carry over that balance. Don't pay them that interest rate. They just really, like they say, lubing you. You know, they really that's what they're doing. Try to stay away from them.
Ninja loans and adjustable rate mortgages like candy. Now let me show you this, and again, this is all coming from the Fed report. Here's the total debt of Americans. As you can clearly see, the total debt balance keeps on going up. So I want to show you this so that you can see the trend. Most of it is housing debt, but let's break this down further. So here's the same debt broken down by composition. 70% of our debt is related to our homes, mortgages, and home equity lines of credit, but it's mostly mortgages. Student loans, 9%, auto loans, 9%, credit cards, 6%. Now let me give you some more details.
That's not too bad.
I want you to see what is happening with the debt levels. And remember that this is for Q1, January, February, March. I would recommend that you focus on the annual change. Because, for instance, credit card debt trends higher in October, November, December because of the holidays. So I think that year over year is a better measure. So take a look. All types of debts have gone up, minus student loans. Now I want you to look at this. Here are the numbers broken out for you for serious delinquencies. So we're talking about 90 days delinquents or more. If you compare Q1 of this year compared to Q1 of last year, delinquency rates are up in every category: mortgages, HELOCs, auto loans, credit card debt, even other. So if there's any loan sharks out there or even pawn shop owners, let us know what you're seeing. Now, let me show you this. These are the auto loan delinquencies by age groups: 18 to 29 years old, 30 to 39, and so on. As you can see, delinquencies are going up for every age group.
Oh yeah, we gotta go look at that. Delinquencies. We about to hit the 1829. You got some cars you don't need right now, and I know that's what that is. Trying to be out here flashing. You got a car you can't afford. Maintenance too high. Wheels and tire costs too high. Gas too high. You got a car you can't afford. And y'all know the next age group up, they not doing too much better, 30 to 39. They on the same, high end as everybody else. Well, as the 18 to 29 year olds. They might not be at 5, but they itching towards 4. That's called living above your means. That's called living above your means, ladies and gentlemen.
Every age group. Here's the data for credit card delinquencies by age. So it's the same thing. It's rising for every age group. And look at how sharply it's going up. And here are the foreclosures by age group. Same story. It's up all across the board. However, as you can see, foreclosures are nowhere close to what they were before in the last housing market crash. Just take a look at how bad it was during 2008, 2009, 2010. So I've just shown you the data from the Federal Reserve. And the summary is Americans are in record debt and delinquencies are shooting up. My question to you is, where do we go from here? Like, what comes next? But just think about it. So honest question. In the next 3 months, in the next 6 months, do you think that the situation is just magically going to get better? Like,
No.
if you think so, then tell me, like, why?
Come on now.
Personally, I don't think so. Realistically and just logically speaking, I think that the situation is going to get worse before it gets better.
It sure will.
The reason why I believe that, the reason why I'm saying that is because we still have inflation. It's not like prices are coming down. We don't have deflation. And inflation is still going up faster than our incomes. Interest rates are still high. We're in a higher interest rate environments. As time passes, just think about this, because as more time goes on, that means there's just going to be less people with 3% mortgages, and they're being swapped out with newer borrowers that have a 7% mortgage interest rate. So more people are going to struggle. It's going to be the same concept. It's going to be the same thing with auto loans. The lower interest rate people are going to be swapped out by the higher interest rate people. And the life cycle on auto loans, 5 years, 7 years, obviously is shorter than a 30-year fixed on mortgages. And people with credit card debts, I mean, it's always been bad. The interest rate on credit cards has always been awful, but right now it's above 20%. Like, these are obscene levels.
For sure.
But that's just me, and those are the reasons why I'm saying this. But let me know what you think. Now, I want to tell you what the Federal Reserve said.
He not capping on that. It's not going to get better no time soon. Because folks they're not financially responsible enough to even have a credit card. Let's be real. Not financially responsible enough to have a credit card. A lot of people should not have that credit card. And prices, they're not getting any better either. So prices not getting any better. Everything costs more expensive. Everything costs you more. And you still trying to live the same lifestyle that you really was getting, subsidized from the government. The government was giving out them checks. So I'm pretty sure that them checks is probably gone now. Like, checks gone, and now everything's more expensive. That is a bad mix of everything. Everyone's over leveraged in debt. Everybody's over leveraged in debt, and that's why I've been trying to get rid of mine. Right now, like I say, that student loan debt we can't even see how that's about to be affected on here, because it's just been tinked and talked all different type ways. It's not even showing up at this point, and until he said the end of this year, that's when it'll really show. I don't know a lot of people who paying off their student loans, and I know a lot of people who said I'm not paying it off. So once that data comes back, I know it's gonna look pretty bad. I'll be done paying mine off soon though, so that metric, like I said, won't matter to me too much sooner. I'll finally be out of that hole. But once that comes back and that metric is able to be seen, we'll see for sure. It's just not gonna get any better.
On May 13th, they released their summary of consumer expectations. It says that American families are expecting their incomes to grow by 3% this year. And they expect their expenses to grow by 5.2%. So it's just more of the same thing. Cost of living is expected to rise faster than our wages. So it's the same old story. So I read the report, and it is shocking. Like, it's crazy how many of these expense categories are not slowing down. For example, college education costs are expected to increase by 9% this year.
Ooh,
Medical care is expected to increase by 8.7% this year. It's just out of control. So listen, I want to give you this friendly reminder that you need to watch your spending, because cost of living this year is just going to get worse. And honestly, I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart. Like, it's so sad that I had to tell you this, that I have to tell this to my friends, to my family members. to watch your spending, because I know that most people are just spending money on necessities, food, shelter, basic needs for life. And it's still tight. It's paycheck to paycheck. And I understand that it's stressful and it's frustrating. You already know the stats. 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck.
God.
The Federal Reserve says that 1 out of every 6 credit card users are using at least 90% of their available credit. People are they're maxed out, and more people will become maxed out this year. You just watch the stats. But hey, listen, this is also a reminder that we're in this sinking ship together. Like, we're in this sinking economy together, if that makes you feel any better.
Yeah, we always got a friend.
And I know that people are going to say in disgust or disbelief that the stock market is soaring. But I want you to know that the stock market is not reflective of the real economy. Even the expectation of easy money, making a comeback, is enough to keep the stock market at record levels. And you saw how out of control the market was. What happened the past few days? Look at what happened with GameStop, right? We had a repeat of that. Ultimately, all these government reports, labor market, unemployment, GDP, it makes it seem like everybody, the whole economy is thriving. And it's the same thing with the stock markets. But when you look at the debt levels and when you look at the delinquencies, they paint a different picture, clearly. So I wanted to give you the data. I wanted to share my opinion with you. Please let me know what you think. Please subscribe.
I can tell you what I think. It's going to get a lot harder before it get a lot easier. That's what I think. So it's time to buckle down and get with it. I'm trying to think of that quote that they be saying, y'all. Don't take it personal. Take it serious. There we go. That's the quote right there. Don't take it personal. Take it serious. Because personally, it's going to hit a lot of our pockets. But seriously, you can prepare for it. You can prepare for it now. Start knocking down some of that debt that you have, Living above your means. Stop spending it. Some people, yes, they are in a position of where they have to, they're struggling. They're struggling. But most people who live paycheck to paycheck, they're living paycheck to paycheck because they have a lot of wants. As you see from here, credit card is the biggest slice. The mortgage is being paid. The car note seems to be getting paid at, it's regular across the board, so we can't really, judge on that. But car notes getting paid. They're not paying the student loans. Let's get that real. The student loans ain't being paid. But the credit card is what keeps growing. And most people, when they have that credit card, they're spending it on their wants. That's purely on wants. Vacations and things to make you feel good. Being over leveraged. Living paycheck to paycheck. Not giving 10% to yourself first. That's what I see on this. That's how I see it is. And it's not going to get better because inflation is growing. What that stat has said, everybody's expected to grow 3%, but inflation is going to grow 5.2%. That means you losing money, which means things are just going to get worse. So let's go ahead and prepare for it, y'all, and get down the right lane while we can. We're going to start moving towards the right lane while we can. If you with me, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment on your way out the door.